Kevin Durant. You should have never left California.
This bronzessual upset me in having to bring this teenage idiot from Wisconsin into a sports conversation. Are you really surprised the Cowboys are giving up on Ezekiel Elliott?
Whoa. Hell no! Well, no one cares about baseball.
Bitch, are you for real?
Oh, yeah! Time to get this bad boy going as y'all finally see me on the screen here. Good morning. Welcome to the late starting 10:08 Eastern time. Man, oh man, 10:08. 8 minutes after the hour. Welcome to the late starting edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have y'all with us. I don't have anything ready because I have been running around all morning. I apologize for that. We're presented by BetUS.com. Sports bettors, listen up. Your favorite sports book, BetUS.com, is back in our 30th year of action with live in-game betting, incredible odds, daily odds, boosters, props, and parlays, fast payouts, and exceptional one-to-one customer service. We got it all. And when you sign up and use the code Snowman, you will get a 125% deposit match. Log on to BETUS.com or call 800-792-3887. That's 800-79-BET-US. BetUS.com, where the game begins. Want to sponsor this here program? Give a call to 919-247-3622. That's 919-247-3622. I'm going to smash our first segment as close to 180 seconds as I possibly can. This is the Whip Around presented by, there we go. Let me make an adjustment here. I shouldn't have messed with it in the first place. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what I have to learn with my equipment. This is the quick version of the Whip Around presented by Fanatics, y'all. Trade deadline is today, and the Cincinnati Reds have acquired reliever Sam Moll in a trade with the Oakland Athletics on Monday. They've also traded infielder Jace Peterson to the Arizona Diamondbacks for right-hander Chad Patrick, Hebert High School graduate, go Hawks, for right-hander Chad Patrick and cash consideration. The coffee of the Los Angeles Clippers, sip, sip, hooray, as I heard the TV announcer say, arrested on suspicion of carrying a concealed firearm in a vehicle. 26 years old. How can you be that stupid? Injury that I saw last night. Bo Bichette slammed on the brakes on a single and tried to turn back and tweaked his knee. He left the game Monday night against the Baltimore Orioles. Bichette, the AL leader in hits with 142 and batting average 318, smashed the single to right, and after stopping suddenly between first and second, keeled over in pain. He was tagged for the final out of the inning before he could return to first base. He left the game due to knee discomfort. Toronto entered the game holding a 2.5-game lead over the Boston Red Sox for the third and final wild card spot in the AL. They're 5.5 games behind the Orioles as the Cubs begin a 4-game series at the Sky Dome. Please get back, Bo Bichette. I picked the Blue Jays as a wild card, and I also picked them as a wild card to win the division. So losing Bo Bichette in their offense is huge. Of the Dallas Cowboys suspended 2 games for a PED violation. Good Lord. It doesn't stop with the Cowboys. It just doesn't stop. What's the phrase? It don't stop because it can't stop. It needs to stop. Wide receiver KJ Hamler to take a quick break from football due to a heart condition. Don't make it a quick break. Make sure your heart is in all the right places because you're playing a gladiator sport. So KJ Hamler, please get well. Get all the way well before you even think about returning to the football field. And this is from a fellow that has dealt with a heart condition and has dealt with congestive heart failure. Get all the way better before you return. At least Udonis Haslem, the heart and soul of the Miami Heat for the past 10 years, retires after 20 seasons in the NBA. The 43-year-old wasn't drafted out of the University of Florida and played in France for a season before joining the Heat in 2003. He made all-rookie second team that season. The 6'8", 235-pounder won championships with the Heat in 2006, 12, and 13 and became the franchise's all-time leader in offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, and total rebounds. Haslam said, quote, "I consider myself extremely blessed to say I can leave this game with no regrets. The championships, the accolades, the brotherhood, man, it's hard to beat and to not be at peace. Undrafted to a three-time champion, all-rookie second team, teammate of the year, the oldest to play in the NBA, Miami Heat second LeBron, and the list goes on," close quote. Udonis Haslem, Hall of Fame career that you had, my friend. We love you. We wish you well in your retirement, and thank you for keeping the old school alive when it comes to the NBA. That's a whip around in about 240 seconds, presented by Fanatics. We're running late, but we're going to catch a break, and when y'all get back, Doris Burke has been elevated. I'm going to try to smash that into 180 seconds. Back after this.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
CSTV will air the Big Three, and I'll call the doggone games. Ice Cube, bring your show out west, and we'll handle it. I'm making a public plea right now. You want some fair coverage? CSTV will air your games, all of them, and I'll call as many as I can. We'll do a simulcast, television and radio. It's an area I know best. Television and radio. And yeah, I'm putting it all the way out there. So you know what, Ice Cube? I'll make this plea right now. Me, a small-time YouTuber, a small-time broadcaster, according to a lot of people, which I don't listen to, put your games on CSTV. Put your games on CSTV. Give us a little funding, and we'll do the rest.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
Your afternoons just got better with the Brian Snow Show. Weekdays, 4 p.m. Eastern. Come on aboard and enjoy the ride, folks.
This planet has been great to me. It's given me gifts that I can't even explain. It's given me adventures and memories I'll never forget. And Battleborn, I think, has given me the opportunity to go beyond and give something back. How can I be a better custodian to this planet and the place I live? That's where I am with Battleborn. Let's make the planet a better place.
Now, I'm known as the guy who can fix just about anything, but the technology in most appliances requires very special training to fix. And that's why my family has Choice Home Warranty.
Choice Home Warranty covers over 25 major home systems and appliances. That's your AC, heating, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and so much more.
Call Choice Home Warranty now before something breaks down.
Get protection for your heating, AC, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and more.
Call 800-973-6121.
'Cause we take this job so serious.
What in the all types of blue hell?
This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson.
First of August, and I'm all messed up today. 1st of August, 10:16 a.m., 16 after the hour. Want to thank y'all for joining us. I figured this problem out last night while doing a baseball game. Want to make sure everything is situated. 16 after the hour, and thank you all for joining us. Don't forget, 105 this afternoon. It's the Sports Sensation Unleashed, episode 31. We've done it 31 times. We've done it 30 times, and today will be number 31. It's presented by BetUS and Invader Coffee. Want to sponsor our programs on Snowman Multimedia? Give a call to 919-247 3622. That's 919-247-3622. And what I'm going to do this Friday is reprise and be more organized as I do my NFC predictions for the first half of the Brian Snow Show, and I will couple it with my AFC predictions for the second half. So, Cole Johnson, my EP, get the questions ready. You folks get your questions ready, and I might just go ahead and make it a 2-hour episode and air it earlier. I haven't decided yet. I will decide it today, but today is Tuesday. You get the Sports Sensation Unleashed at 1:05 this afternoon. All right, let's go to the Fanatics feedback zone. Julian Smith is with us. He says, I hope Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy be on TNT and put the NBA on CBS. Man, I'd love that. I'd love the NBA to go back to CBS. It's just that the voices I grew up listening to, Dick Stockton, Brent Musburger, they've all moved on. The late, great Frank Gleber. God bless you, Frank. Ryan McCoffey is with us from Saratoga, New York. Good day, Snow Crew. I got the stopwatch going. Drew Willingham says, Snowman, I'm awake. I'm glad you are awake. The Bare Necessities is with us. 30 seconds left. I didn't make 180 seconds. Drew Willingham greets Bare Necessities and McCoffey, and the official time of the whip around 3 minutes, 40 seconds. Thank you, Ryan McCoffey, for that. Good morning to Drew from the Bare Necessities. And thank you to everyone. We have crossed 700 subscribers on our YouTube channel. Thank you very much. We have a growing audience on CSTV, and there's something else that I need to do. There's another network. We're all over the place. There's another network that I need to welcome, and I'm going to do my best to do that right now. I can't do it visually, but I can do it verbally. And here it is. Found it. I will tell y'all right now that we are now based on a network that is based north of the border. We want to welcome the FiredUp Network for all of our programming. Thank you very much to the FiredUp Network and Joseph Sadik. I know I butchered that name. Even when I'm full of caffeine, I mess up, and I'm so sorry about that. Drew Willingham, check out the Snowman and myself at 105 today on the Sports Sensays Unleashed on Snowman Multimedia, and y'all need to check us out. It's a rapid fire hour, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun. All right, now to something that I don't want to talk about, but should talk about because Cole put it in the slate. ESPN is close to promoting Doris Burke to the NBA Finals crew and hiring Glenn Doc Rivers. There it is. My desk is a mess. To replace Mark Jackson. Let me read that again. ESPN is close to promoting Doris Burke to the NBA Finals crew and hiring Glenn Doc Rivers to replace Mark Jackson. Now, Rivers has been there before. Burke would become the first woman TV analyst on NBA Finals coverage. While there were discussions that Jackson might be relegated to the second team with Mark Jones, he has instead been let go by ESPN, according to Peter Vesey. He had 2 years remaining on his contract and now joins a long list of ESPN talent to leave the company this summer. Wow. Just wow. So what's next for Mark Jackson? Jackson paired with top NBA commentator Jeff Van Gundy, who was laid off by ESPN last month, and Mike Breen was part of the NBA Finals coverage since 2015. Rivers would join Burke and Breen on the company's #1 NBA coverage team. Burke had already been doing radio coverage of the finals. Rivers, a former coach, makes his return to the broadcast booth after a brief one-year stint in 2004 with ABC. You know, I want to say this out loud. I'm going to say this out loud. And I got nothing but love for Doris Burke. She knows her game. She knows her game. She knows the game of basketball. Absolutely love it. Is there a way that ESPN can finally get their mess together? I will not cuss. I will not cuss. I will not cuss. And let Doris Burke do something I love to do. It is called a simulcast. How about that? Let Doris Burke be the number one announcer for the finals, and part of the number one team that will belong. I know that will belong to Mike Breen, but Doris Burke can head a 1A team. Team 1A. Team 1 is Mike Breen. Team 1A would be Doris Burke. And let them both do a simulcast, man. How about that? The Godfather, Dominique Williams, the Dome, has joined us this morning. Dominic, where are you listening and watching from so we can shout you out properly? The Bare Necessities, same question to you, and the same question to Julian Smith, who started everything out in the feedback zone this morning. Let us know where y'all are watching or listening from so we can shout you out properly. Duh. Doris is always crushing on TV and NBA 2K games. She deserves her flowers. That's what I'm throwing. Watching from Gale, I remember now. Galesburg, Illinois is where Dominic is watching us from. Can we promote Doris Burke to do a simulcast of the World Championship Series and also NBA coverage? Can she be the lead voice on simulcast NBA coverage? Because I love listening to her do play-by-play on ESPN radio. If there's a reason I do listen outside of Mike and Mike in the morning and I missed that show, that would be it. If there was a reason I listened to ESPN coverage of the NBA, it was Jim Durham for the longest time. And remember, Jim Durham was hired by ESPN in 1996 when they launched the ESPN radio. He was the voice. Oh, and Drew, I do have it together. I just have a mess on my desk, which included breakfast once upon a time. Let Doris Burke do a simulcast call, television and radio. Bring it back to the old school. Okay? Bring it back to the old school. Let her do a simulcast call. Can we get that? Can we get that? I mean, ESPN wants to own everything own everything sports anyway. Why don't you break away from Disney? All right, tell Disney, hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more. Keep those kiddies off that unit. Well, Winnie couldn't help it last night. Listen, can we just bring everything back to what me and quite a few others grew up with, which is a simulcast? Please, can we just have that and let Doris Burke head it up? Let her do the play-by-play for the NBA Finals and do it with the simulcast version. Can we have that? Can we have that? Can we get that? Please. Hell, I'm begging Ice Cube and his group at the Big Three to bring their operation to CSTV and let us do the darn thing. I'm planning to move my family west anyway. Why not? Let her do the let her and Mike Breen handle the simulcast for the NBA playoffs. How about that? How about that? I think it would be a wonderful thing for her to not only help head up the coverage, but to give her the microphone for the television and the radio call. Matter of fact, like I said, make it a simulcast. Screw it. Make it a simulcast. People walk away from the TV anyway, and they still want to know what's going on. You have Doris Berg or Mike Breen or both tell you the story. Period. Do it that way. Do it like that. Give her flowers and let her do a simulcast. Let her do that. Huh? What do you think of that? What do you think about that idea? Huh? Getting promos ready here while I'm talking. Why don't ESPN do it right and just have her do the simulcast call? All right? Do it that way. Man, how do we do this? Yeah, do it that way. What about Mike Breen? Well, it's kind of not fair for me to say let her do the simulcast and Mike Breen's not the. Now I don't know. Damn it! Damn it! Now I don't know. Now I don't know. Because I'd like to have this I'd like to have the simulcast. I would. I'd like to have the simulcast. I don't know. Now I don't know. Now I'm not sure. Because what does that say of Mike Breen? If that happens, if she's allowed to do the simulcast. I just thought of this. Darn it. Darn it all. Courtney Harton joining us here from Philadelphia. Courtney, I have a bone to pick with you. Courtney and I have tried several hundred times to get him back on my program and I on his. And since 2020, I haven't been on the Real Deal with Courtney Harden. And it's my own fault. They do simulcasts with home and away radio calls for college football games on ESPN. Why don't they do the same for the NBA on ESPN Plus? That's a hell of an idea. That's a hell of an idea. And Ryan, I couple that with a question. If they do it if they somehow got their head out of their asses and they do it that way, which games would Doris Burke be heading up? Because I know the home calls for the Knicks would be headed by the legendary Mike Breen. I know that. Bang! I know that. So how would we do this for Doris Burke? And you know what? I'm going to throw this out there too. Since I have no qualms about inviting people onto the show so I can talk to them, I want Doris Burke to be on a segment I'm putting together called Mike to Mike. I am inviting the legendary Doris Burke, Mike Breen, and any other legends I can think of to be a part of the Mike to Mike series. There, I'm putting it out there. I don't care how. And Merrill Reese, the voice of the Eagles, Greg Papa, the voice of the 49ers. Who I've had Matt Taylor. Matt Taylor's my buddy, okay? I've had Matt Taylor on. I had Mick Mixon on as a part of this show for 2 years before he retired. I'd love to have that. Alternate night games between the two teams. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. So one week Doris would do a Wednesday game and 1 week Doris would do a Friday game. Am I doing that? Am I assuming that's correct, Ryan? My wife's cup, by the way, she let me have it. And she got another one. and I'm not allowed to touch the new Yeti cup that she has in the kitchen. I'm not allowed to touch it unless I'm making it as part of the dishes I'm doing. Okay. But am I right, Ryan, in saying that? Hell, give me a package. I'll head up the third team and do a simulcast that way. And I want to invite, who else have I had on here? Bill Schoenig, one of my dearest friends. I worked with Bill Schoenig. I wanted him back on. I want Tim Roy from the Warriors. I want the voice of the world champion Denver Nuggets. I want them all. One night would feature Doris's team and Breen's team on simulcast. The next night, flip them. Okay. Me and Ryan will have a talk about that. Matter of fact, I want that to be our subject for the next Coffee with McCarthy. I want that to be the subject for the next Coffee with McCarthy and see how Ryan and I can get involved in the action. There. Thank you, Ryan. There's always a rational thinking being on the show, especially when times though it's not me. In case you missed it yesterday, the 25th annual Chicago HBCU Classic football game will be aired live on Snowman Multimedia Sportsnet Radio on Saturday, September 2nd. And there's a big-ass fundraiser that I am working on to surprise my beautiful bride with a week in Chicago. I need y'all's help. If you can donate anything to Tallman Dr. K50 to help with expenses, that would be great because I want to do a week's worth of shows, especially Snowman in the Morning from Chicago. Let's take a break. And when y'all get back, harsh words for Colorado after Pac-12 departure from Dan Lanning. Well, you should have done a better job of keeping him. Back in a minute.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up. Bang! Quality over quantity. LeBron has beaten some of the best competition in NBA history. He's the GOAT emoji. I will not cuss. I will not cuss. I will not swear. I will not swear.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
Your afternoons just got better with the Brian Snow Show. Weekdays, 4 p.m. Eastern. Come on aboard and enjoy the ride, folks.
Thursday nights are wrestling night on CSTV. Tune in every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific to see all the amazing Next Level Pro Wrestling stars on Thursday Night Throwdown on CSTVNow.com and the CSTV app on your Roku device.
PK Tire Pros, your one-stop, on-the-spot auto service headquarters for a complete line of quality tires and auto services. For years, we have provided the Stockton, California area with the latest products and unprecedented services for everything we sell. And for years, our customers have been coming back. Take a look around. If you don't find what you need, visit us in Stockton, California. From the latest and best in tire technology to the services required to keep your vehicle looking good and running great, PK Tire Pros can get you out on the road quickly and at an affordable price. Stop by soon to see why so many people consider PK Tire Pros to be the one-stop shop for all of their tire needs. At PK Tire Pros, our friendly and knowledgeable staff, quick and dependable service professionals, and affordable prices all come together to make driving out on a new set of tires easy. On top of that, we never tire of tires. Stop by and see us, and you'll be glad you did.
because we take this job so serious.
The f is that? Sorry, pardon me. My apologies.
What in the all types of blue hell?
This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson.
Oh, boy. 37 after the hour here on hour 1 of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. I am he. They call the Snowman Brian Snow. Thanks to y'all for joining us. And there was a comment that was given to me during the break. And I have to honor this comment. LCJ. No, not that one. This one. I'm from the ATL. Shout to Atlanta. And shout to WQEE 99.1 in Atlanta that plays that houses this show as well. And if the NBA on CBS used the music from the 80s, the announcers would be Ian Eagle and Kevin Harlan. Well, I got a present for you, Mr. Julian Smith. You said the NBA on CBS? Do you mean this? While I'm thinking about it, and before we move on, 39 after the hour, who else would be a part of the CBS announced team? I know Ian Eagle would kill it. I know Kevin Harlan would kill it. Who else do y'all want to be a part of the CBS team should they revive the NBA on CBS? See, this is why I got hooked on the NBA on CBS. This right here, with the narration they would have to be setting up the games and everything. This right here. This got me hooked. The legendary narrations that they would have to set up the games. Who else would be a part of the CBS announced team? The Lakers are trying to repeat history tonight, while the Pistons hope to make some. A championship is at stake, and only one team's prayers will be answered. Y'all remember that? And then they would fade into the city, whatever city it is, and it would be on after that. It would just be on after that. You hear the you hear the narration, and it would be all the way on. 40 after the hour, Dan Lanning attacks the Colorado Buffaloes. That's coming in a minute, but we're taking a stroll down memory lane here. Yeah, I'm a little off kilter. I'm a little off the rails, but doggone it, I'm enjoying it. I'm absolutely enjoying it. Hell, I may wind up working this into the afternoon show today. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I know I got to get back on track here, so I will do this. At Recruiting Giants, our mission is to connect exceptional talent with exceptional companies. We strive to provide innovative and tailored staffing solutions to help organizations build successful teams. By leveraging our expertise and extensive network of industry professionals, we aim to drive growth, foster long-term partnerships, and positively impact the success of both our clients and candidates. We are dedicated to delivering exceptional service, exceeding expectations, and becoming the preferred staffing partner for businesses looking to recruit top talent. For more information, email Mark Zanetto, my good friend, at info@recruitinggiants.com or call 336-587-3659. That's 336-587-3659. Recruiting Giants, where talent meets opportunity. To Dan Lanning, the head coach of the Oregon Ducks. And Dan Lanning said, quote, Not a big reaction. I'm trying to remember what they won to affect this conference, and I don't remember. Do you remember them winning anything? I don't remember them winning anything. Close quote. Well, I don't either. The Colorado Buffaloes bolted to the Pac-12 conference, which will soon become the Pac-8, in 2014. Ten years they played in the Pac-12, and they won not a damn thing. And after the Buffaloes 4, this will reduce the Pac-12 to 9 teams because UCLA and USC are out of Dodge. They're heading to the Big Ten in 2024. Which prompts a question. And I'll get back to Dan Lanning in a moment. I have no reason, because when I read the slate and saw Dan Lanning was on the docket, I was getting ready to put him on the hot seat. But then again, I don't have to. Because in all honesty, he spoke nothing but the truth. When was the last time Colorado was in a conference championship game? I'll look that up right now. Live research coming. I want to say it was 2005. I want to say it was 2005 against Texas. Now, I remember Colorado being a part of the Big Eight and how them and Nebraska used to beat the hell out of each other. I remember they used to beat the hell out of each other, and you always saw it on CBS. You always saw it on CBS. They joined in 2011. I beg your pardon, 2011. They joined the Pac-12 conference in 2011. They played 13 years and haven't done a damn thing. Their last conference championship was 2001. 2001. And that was a part of the Big 12. That was part of the Big 12. Okay? They last won. Well, let me take that back. They last won a division championship in 2016. That's the only year Colorado was relevant. I said relevant. I'm sorry. Relevant. And then they got their ass kicked by Washington 41-10. 41-10. They won the they won the Pac-12 South Championship. They last won a division championship in 2016. The previous year they were 4-9. They finished the season 10-4, 8-1 in Pac-12 play, and they won their first Pac-12 South Division title. They ain't done a damn thing since. They ain't done a damn thing. And on top of that, like I said, they got their ass kicked in Levi Stadium by Washington 41-10. So y'all tell me where they made a significant dent in Pac-12 football. Tell me. I'll wait. Because I honestly don't know that they did a damn thing. Except that division title in 2016. And then in the Pac-12 championship at Levi Stadium, they got their ass kicked by Washington, and then they got their ass kicked 38-8 by Oklahoma State. Tell me where they made a dent in the Pac-12. Matter of fact, let me do this the right way. Let me have some fun here. Tell me where they made a dent, talking about the Colorado Buffaloes, in the Pac-12. You got 30 seconds, chat. Go. And time is up. And have the Colorado Buffaloes made a dent in the Pac-12?
No! No, 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 no!
What has Colorado done football-wise in the Pac-12? Not a damn thing. One division title in 13 years. Hell, Northwestern, which is going through a hell of a scandal right now, won 2 division titles within 3 years. And when you know it, both times they faced Ohio State. Damn it! At Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana. Damn it! But has Colorado really made, and I echo Dan Lanning's words, and I put it in the form of a question. Have the Colorado Buffaloes really made a dent in the Pac-12?
No! No, 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 no!
Now, how big of an impact will they make in the Big 12, which should be the Big 8, but that's me. I'm old. I can't help it. I'm old. Y'all tell me where the Colorado Buffaloes, yes, them, have made a significant dent anywhere in the Pac-12. What have the Colorado, I'll put it in the form of a question and I'll answer it. What have the Colorado Buffaloes in football done to make a dent, to make a name, and to make some noise in the Big 12? I'll answer it. Not a doggone thing. Not a thing. Hit the like, hit the subscribe if you're watching via YouTube. If you're watching via CSTV, thank you for joining us. If you're listening on all of our radio networks, including WIRUDB in Chicago, WQEE in Atlanta, we got a couple more stations. Thank you. And if you're watching via the FiredUp Network, thank you. What have the Colorado Buffaloes done in football, in any sport in the Big 12, in the Pac-12, Big 12, in the Pac-12, in any sport in the Pac-12? Huh? Matter of fact, I'll do this again. You got 30 seconds. Okay. What's up, Wise? Wise is with us this morning as I'm in the midst of going completely off. And I'm not roasting Dan Lanning. I'm roasting the Colorado Buffaloes. I'm roasting the Colorado Buffaloes. And we do live research here. Oh, Lord. Y'all don't want to know how I just spelled Colorado just now. Have they won a basketball championship in the Pac-12? Have they done that? Let's find out. And I'm looking up conference regular season championships. They have they haven't won. Well, they made tournament appearances in 2016 and 2021. They made 3 consecutive appearances, 2012, 13, and 14. But they haven't won a conference tournament since 2012, and that was the Pac-12. Was it? Hold up. The Chauncey Billups years. I'm looking at everything. Tad Boyle. Good Lord. Tad Boyle led that Colorado team. They had a couple members, 2012, 2013. Oh, Pac-12 All-Conference first team. They've had some people. Spencer Dinwiddie. That name sounds familiar. Most improved player, 2019, Tyler Bay. Okay. I can dig that. I can dig this. All right, I'm looking at their history in the Pac-12 conference tournament, and in 2012, they ran the table and won the damn thing. Okay? I'm live research. They ran the table 4-0 in the Pac-12 tournament and won the damn thing. Okay. So they have a conference championship under their belt. They were 11-7. They were behind. They were the fifth place team in the Pac-12 behind Arizona, Oregon, California, and Washington. Let me repeat that. They were the fifth place team behind Arizona, Oregon, California, and the regular season champion, Washington. Colorado played number 11 Utah and beat them by 12, 53-41. They played number 3 Oregon and won. They played number 2 California, beat them by 11. And then they beat 4th seeded Arizona in front of 11,000 people, 53-51. They ain't done a doggone thing since in basketball, since 2012. What's up, Cool Breeze? I might have to get Cool Breeze up here for the second hour. But Dan Lanning, I applaud you for speaking the truth about Colorado football. Because except for 2016, they haven't done a doggone thing. Now, do I expect them to have a better time in the Big 12? Yeah, because the competition is going to be at their level. Not saying that they're scrubs. But when they moved to the Pac-12, you had Arizona there, you had Washington, you had Oregon, and many times you have Oregon State, and a couple times you had California. The deck was stacked against you, just like it's going to be stacked against Texas and Oklahoma when they move to the SEC. God help us. God help us. So, what do you do? What do you do in that situation? Deion said, we're out of here. We're going back to the Big 12. It was unanimously approved. Now, Coach Prime, you know what you have to do from there. You got to build them back into a powerhouse. Because the last time that Colorado was in a Big 12 championship, they got obliterated by Texas in 2005. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But that's the last time I remember Colorado being relevant in the Big 12. Was 2005. They backdoored their way into the North Division title, and then they saw Vince Young, and all hell broke loose at NRG Stadium in Houston. They actually opened the roof for that game. December 2005. Colorado got absolutely obliterated to the point where they only scored. The final score was 70-3. They allowed Texas to score 10 touchdowns in that game. I remember getting out of the house early getting to downtown Chicago and watching football all day at one of my favorite pizza places, which is now closed, which is called Ronnie's. I just hope Colorado becomes more significant being back in the Big 12 beginning next year. Hour 2 after this.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Where did the time go? I don't know how I got here.
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. Not just one time, but every chance we get. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids not only need to know the dangers and how to avoid them, they need to hear it often from you. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids and guide them through the challenges of growing up safe and healthy. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So talk, they hear you. You can do it if you try.
He was only 58 years old when he passed away. That outcome could have been different.
Colorado happens to be one of the worst states for radon levels.
It's in our ground, and it seeps up.
The more you breathe radon, the more chance you have of DNA being hit and the cell mutated. The EPA estimates 22,000 lung cancer deaths a year caused by radon.
We all make choices. When it comes to alcohol, kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.
Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Have fun. Hey, have a seat for a second. Remind me about that party again?
Alex is just...
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. They want guidance and honest answers to their questions. And it makes a difference when the message is consistent and part of everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Time for hour 2 of this spectacular. Ryan McCoffey now joins us this morning.
That's what you need to do to beat Josh Allen. You need to make him uncomfortable.
Hour 2, time for some Spivey notes. And here's Jay.
Well, I know he's only in his 3rd year, but they're just wasting Justin Herbert.
Hour 2,
the hardest working content creator I know, the playmaker.
Hey, LeBron James, the greatest scorer of all time. Hey.
Hour 2,
the one, the only Christopher Dietz.
They rewarded Ohio State for not playing, and they punished USC for playing.
Hour 2, Sam Shady.
Oh, man. It's been a roller coaster ride if you were a Philadelphia Stars fan.
Hour 2, that's Big Ben, the man in charge of the BS3 network.
And if I see Kurt 2 Chainz Cousins out.
Hour 2, Chris Bay's joining us.
Oh my God! Oh, this game! Oh, way to go, Sammy!
Hour 2, was El.
Oh man, I thought I missed it.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Time for hour 2 of this spectacular, and it starts right now. What in the all kinds of light of blue hell? 11:02 on your dial, 2 minutes after the second hour. This hour, in part presented by SeatGeek. If you're looking for the best way to experience live events, SeatGeek has you covered. With just a few taps on your phone, you can find the best seats for concerts, sports, theater, and more. Don't miss out on unforgettable moments. Download the SeatGeek app today and get ready for an experience like no other. Each ticket is vetted for authenticity and ranked on a 1 to 10 scale. And right now, if you use the code Snowman Multimedia, you will get $20 off of your first purchase. That's only through the power of SeatGeek, where fans can fan. Help us get to Chicago by joining the Patreon at patreon.com/Snowman Multimedia for as low as $5 a month. I'm putting together the vlog from my anniversary trip. Got some extras there that I'm gonna put together. Man, but it's gonna be a whole bunch of fun. Right now, let's talk some baseball. What? A black man talking baseball? You're damn right I am. Let's talk some baseball. I welcome David St. Dennis, a.k.a. David 3000, who is experiencing a sunny day where he is.
Yes.
And here's Jason. He's along with us. What up?
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you doing today?
Doing great, man. How are you?
Good. Long time no see. Where's Cole today?
In the back, having fun, producing.
I thought he was taking a much-needed vacation, like we all could, you know.
you know something? I'm trying to plan a second one after my wife surprised me with the first one when we went to Branson, Missouri, and I surprised everybody by taking a week off.
Hey, if you need to do it because that's the important thing.
Listen, man, I surprised the hell out of everybody when I made the announcement that Jody and I were going on vacation, and I surprised my friends here. They're like, "What? You never take a vacation?" Listen, the wife planned it. She says, "You're getting away for a week." Who am I to say no?
That's right.
As I said, y'all join the Snowman Multimedia Patreon. I got some bonus footage from our time in Missouri. And when I start putting it up there and I carve out some time to put the vlog together, you all are going to enjoy it. All right, let's talk some baseball. The trade deadline is today.
Yeah.
And my EP put a very important question. Why is Major League Baseball's trade deadline no longer a fixed date and time? Downstairs to Jason first.
Well, I know it's always been around the end of July or early August or the 1st of August where they cut it off. It's been like that for what, maybe 5-6 years.
Yeah.
We never really talked about trade deadlines in the 80s and 90s like we are talking about it today because our players stayed on their teams and didn't about going to some other team based on their bad performance or how good they were. They stayed where they wanted to go and they were always happy. So we never really talked about making those trade deadlines a major day of reporting, as they say nowadays, some 30 years later, because you never really talked about this stuff.
No, you never did talk about it. Never did figure that there would be so many trades, but now
it's just something that they've got to keep reporting 24 hours a day up until the deadline. It's like a marathon.
And then Major League and then MLB Network showed up and showed out.
Yeah.
And is our go-to conduit for the trade deadline. Upstairs to David, same question. Why is it not a fixed date and time anymore?
I think it's all about the business of the game. I think it's all about the change of the game. If I were the commissioner, honestly, we saw what happened earlier in the season when the Rangers got Aroldis Chapman from the Royals way earlier in the season before the All-Star break.
Yep.
And that was considered their trade deadline. Well, my suggestion as the commissioner would have been no trades at all until on the trade deadline itself, so we could have a marathon of trades throughout the day. It will be a big event.
I totally agree with that.
I agree with that. They do it for the NBA and the NFL and the NHL. So you can do the same. You can do the same thing for Major League Baseball. Speaking of trades, let's talk Texas Rangers. The Texas Rangers are trying their best, and I see the look on Jason's face, the same smirk that I have. The Rangers are trying their best to build a juggernaut to take down the Houston Astros.
Yes.
They're not building their team to win a world championship. And the Houston Rockets went through the same thing in trying to take down the Warriors in the NBA playoffs, and they were unsuccessful. Let me go downstairs to Jason. These moves by the Texas Rangers, they're building to win a division. They're not building to win a world championship, and I don't think they can win the division with this lineup.
It's going to be very close in the AL West, as you probably have been watching over the course of the last 3 weeks. I have been watching that Western Division, and I must say the Texas Rangers are putting up one heck of a fight. The Astros are right there with them. I mean, the Astros are the defending champions. They know how to win, and they know how to win in big situations where they've been down by what?
Absolutely.
5 games? Come on now, you're talking about an Astros team that's been there, done that. The Rangers have never had a taste of it, and this is the first time that the Rangers actually have the top spot in the division, and they're looking at it and saying, "Oh my God, what are we going to do?" Well, go in there. Hey, you got Scherzer, but how good and reliable is that son of a gun going to be when?
Thank you.
Texas?
Thank you. Thank you.
You know,
thank you.
The man wanted to get out of New York because he's under so much pressure. Oh.
Yep.
Big whoopee. So you give him Texas with DeGrom. Those guys can't even handle DeGrom because he's on the IL again. I mean, come on, man. You're taking has-beens from New York and you're bringing them over here to your champion, your division-leading team, and cannot keep them on the damn mound.
Oh, God, I love you for that. I've been saying that all year. All right, Jacob DeGrom gone. There's 75 million reasons why you should not have signed him to that long of a deal and to that big of a deal.
He's out past.
When has Jacob DeGrom ever been healthy? He hasn't been healthy since 2015.
Yeah.
When he helped drag the Mets to a World Series.
Which
they got spanked by the Royals.
They didn't win, but they got close. They were the Eastern Conference Division 10, the National League champs. Give them that, But it's been what, 8 years since?
Yeah. Let's go back to the American League West. Okay, Texas was on a roll earlier in the season. They were on a roll.
Yeah.
Now Houston is scaring the daylights out of them because they're within a half a game of the West lead.
And
I said when Texas took 2 out of 3, when Houston took 2 out of 3 at home against the Rangers, I said then it's only a matter of time before Houston snatches that division and runs away. Upstairs to David. Your thoughts on the American League West division?
I think it's the second best division in the American League. The Central is horrible. So other than the AL East, they're looking at a division, the AL West, where the Rangers haven't had postseason experience since 2016. And the Astros are just, people thought they were done with their dynasty, but they're still going through their dynasty. Why? Because they're in second place right now. They're in the wild cards. They're in their wild card spot. And all they need to do for the Astros is try to get back healthy again. Alvarez is back. Altuve is back, I believe, as well.
Yep.
So if the Rangers want to make a great push with that division, they need to stay healthy because Seager, I don't know if he's still on the IL.
Seager's gone. Seager started hot, and Seager's one of their main bats in the lineup. They didn't have that bat against Houston 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so if the Rangers, they need to stay healthy. They need to keep Scherzer in check. Just saying.
Good luck.
It's going to be hard to do. Good luck getting those guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to check. He's going to pull the same stuff out in Texas with the umpires and see how many times get away with that rousing stuff,
Max Scherzer had his best run in Washington and helped bring the Nationals a world championship. Okay, after then, he hasn't done a doggone thing, and I feel even with his injuries, he should have never left the nation's capital because he and Strasburg were the faces of that pitching staff. You mentioned something, David. The Astros are scaring the daylights out. Listen, the Astros have never been healthy all year until now. And yet they're within a half a game of telling Texas, you don't belong here. And the way I am looking at this West Division right now, with Houston only a half a game out of the division lead, which is crazy at the top of August. Houston's a half game but out of the division lead when it's a matter of when they snatch the lead. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And kudos to Dusty Baker, who should be the manager of the year again, for managing this lineup, putting the right pieces within the lineup. Mauricio Dubon, hello. All right, Dubon won a game for Houston in Oakland with a 9th inning home run. All right, who the hell is Mauricio? Listen, the rest of the American League is wondering who the hell is Mauricio Dubon. And then Jose Altuve gets back. Yordan Alvarez gets back, and that home run he hit last night still hasn't come down yet.
By the way,
that home run he hit. Go ahead.
The manager of the year is going to be a race between Bruce Bertie and Dusty Baker, because look what the Rangers are doing.
It's not going to be a race.
Ain't no race.
It's not going to be a race, and I tell you why. Because the Houston Astros, the next time they see the Rangers, they're going to pound them into the dirt. They're going to snatch the American League West lead, and it's going to get to a point where Texas is going to fall so far they won't even be in the wild card race. You're seeing it right before your eyes, gentlemen. You're seeing, and fans in the chat. Let me pose this question to the chat. Do the Rangers have enough to hold on to win the West? I say hell no, they don't.
It's going to be close.
It's not going to be. Listen, Houston's going to win this by at least 5 games.
Yeah.
And the 5-game difference is going to be in a head-to-head series.
I mean, look at
the next 2 head-to-head series. Go ahead, David.
I mean, Tampa is in the wild card spot. You know, it could be Tampa or Baltimore. And what's the other team in the wild card right now? I think it's
it would be
what's the wild card standing?
As crazy as this sounds, it would be either.
Can we get a screenshot?
It's Toronto.
Yeah,
it's the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
It's the Blue Jays, and
Blue Jays.
they're dealing with
the Blue Jays.
and they're dealing with a big issue right now because Bo Bichette is out.
Yeah.
With a horrible knee injury.
Yeah.
And they're
Bo
still
Bichette's out with a horrible knee injury.
What surprised me the most is that these teams have the major injuries to their players, yet they keep winning because they've got a lineup that can support it. When you don't have a lineup and the backup players to support the guys who are technically out for even an extended period of time, those backup players show up to the plate every time, do their job, and they're not getting recognized for it. Shame on them. Shame on them for recognizing those backup players, you know?
So the American League East. It's all about Baltimore at 65-41. Tampa Bay has 65 wins, but they have 44 losses. They're a game and a half out. And you got Toronto 6.5 games. Then you got Toronto 6.5 games out. My question to you, and I go upstairs to David first, is there enough time for Toronto to not only get healthy, but make a run at the top spot of the American League East?
Oh, yeah. They have done it before. If they could get back out healthy, if Alec Manoah gets back to himself for the second half of the season, they can make a run. And also maybe do something at trade deadline. That's what also the Red Sox need to do right now, today, is to add peace to their lineup because they lost 3 in a row, back-to-back walk-off losses in San Francisco. And then they lost last night. It was 2-1. Nick Pivetta had a 10 strikeout game, and then the bullpen, or one of the pitchers, I think Crawford, if I'm correct on that, blew the lead to make it 6-2 or 6-2 or 6-1. So that's not a good sign for the trade deadline. I don't know who's gonna go. it'll be crazy if the Red Sox get rid of Verdugo, but then again, Verdugo's been struggling. It'll be really stupid if they trade him to the Dodgers, because the Dodgers already got their players who are Red Sox players on their team, and it's crazy that it's like a Red Sox LA thing right now. But I don't know what's gonna happen, honestly, with the trade deadline coming up there today. I just hope the Red Sox do something. Just give me something, please.
Let's look at the National League West. It's all about the Dodgers and the Giants. Screw Arizona. They've had their chances.
They blew it.
They had their chances. They were up top. They led this division, and they blew it.
Yeah.
They blew it.
Yeah.
The Arizona Diamondbacks, and I know I'm going to make a lot of fans in the desert angry right now. I got a couple of very special friends out in Arizona.
Hey, you're just reporting the facts, you know?
I'm stating facts here, just like I did with the Texas Rangers. And I got some very dear friends that are Ranger fans, and they don't like me saying this. But there are two teams in Major League Baseball that led their division, three that led their division, and they blew it. The Tampa Bay Rays, the Arizona Diamondbacks, and the Texas Rangers. They led their division by a significant margin early in the year. And as I'm looking at these standings here on my monitor on August 1st, they blew it.
I mean, Tampa can still
Dodgers are next.
I mean, the Tampa Bay Rays, they can still get back when top of the division, because I mean, look how they started.
They're not going to get back to the top of the division. Baltimore is hot.
Yeah.
Baltimore is red hot. The next team, and I know my friend, the sports judge out in Los Angeles, is going to hate me for my next statement. But it goes, Jason, you know where I'm going. We talked about this 2 months ago.
2 months ago, yeah.
We talked about this off air 2 months ago. The next team to blow a lead in the division is the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yep.
Because San Francisco is mad. They are charging hard. And the next time they play each other, San Francisco is going to get healthy, and they're going to put a foot in that ass.
There you go. That's right. Can I elaborate on the AL East for 1 second here?
Go for it, man.
The baby birds are coming alive. The Baltimore Orioles, you put up a 7th spot against the Yankees on Sunday Night Baseball. You are for real.
Yes.
Don't give me this that we are not a contender this year. We are taking it to every team in that division right now. We are showing them who is boss. And I'll tell you right now, the only teams that are fighting the cellar are the Yankees and the Red Sox right now.
You're right.
9 and 10 games is not going to cut it if you guys are playing 500 ball, and yet you're still over 500. It's a tough division. I understand that.
The following is a public service announcement from Wise El Jefe.
Boston.
This has been a public service announcement from Wise El Jefe.
Another comedic uppercut from my wonderful executive producer. I love it.
Now, you see, me and David, this is where we disagree on all this. He wants to get that Boston team up in the division. That
ain't going to happen.
But he's a diehard fan. I can understand that. Now, as much as I'm a Mets fan, it cannot. What happened? Why did he go?
Know.
Why did he cut himself out? Because he can't handle it?
He may be resetting.
Could be. But you know, here's the thing. As much as I'm a diehard Mets fan and not following them this year because they really got nothing to go with, I'm now on the verge of following the Baltimore Orioles.
Good.
Look at this team, and I said to myself, cellar dwellers for the last 10, 12 years, right? No chance of anything. The Yankees swamped them. The Red Sox gave them a push off the docks. The Blue Jays did everything. The Rays kicked them into the curb. Here they come back. And they put a 7th spot up on the Yankees.
You know what? I think the Orioles are getting revenge
Oh, yeah.
on the on the way the wild card ended in 2016 when Edwin Encarnacion hit an absolute bomb in the Sky Dome. I'm sorry, I cannot say Rogers Center. It's the Sky Dome as far as I'm concerned.
That's all you know is the Sky Dome.
It's I've known it as the Sky Dome since it came into existence in 1989. But I think our American League championship right now goes Orioles, Astros.
Mm-hmm.
That's the American League championship.
Yeah.
Right now, as it stands right now, screw Tampa Bay, screw Texas, the Angels, and everybody else. As it stands right now, the way and the Minnesota Twins, they got a chance in hell.
And you're sitting at what, one game under 500, and you've got the division. Come on,
their American League.
It's just
Listen, the American League comedy. I want to thank Mike Valenti for saying this a few years ago. I wouldn't believe it, but the American League is American League Comedy Central.
Yeah,
comedy. And I'm a listen. I'm a born and bred White Sox fan. Okay, yeah. I'm a born and bred White Sox fan, and they need to just blow it up.
Yeah.
They need to blow it up. I'll talk about that in my next segment when I go off the board. Matter of fact, we need to head to a break. But Jason and David, let me get David up here and thank him while he's here. Yeah. Jason, David, thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Can I promote something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Jason, tell them about the meetings.
Yes, we have a special. We have 5 meetings going on in the month of August for the David 3000 Network. We need to know when you guys want to come to the 8:00 meetings on Tuesday nights, because we're going to launch our fall schedule September 4th, and we would like to
I may be able to make it tonight.
Great.
And I may be able to make it tonight, but there is a caveat to that. I think my wife is going to be working late, so as soon as she comes in the door, I'm signing off and I'm out.
Not a problem. Not a
but
problem.
I will. Matter of fact, put me on the schedule for tonight. I will make it tonight.
It's only going to be for an hour. It's on Discord, so if you have a Discord,
cool, very cool, very cool.
And I got to come on your program to my channels as well. David's got to promote his stuff. We need to come on just like a non-sports kind of type thing here.
We can definitely do that. Let me get to a break. David, Jason, thank y'all so much for coming on this morning. I really appreciate it. Oh man, it's fun talking baseball with those guys. After a break, I'm gonna go off the board with a Snowman's take, and I'm gonna go off on my beloved White Sox. I need to do this because I'm pissed off at the direction they're supposedly going right now. And I'm going to let them have it after this.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up. Bang! Quality over quantity. LeBron has beaten some of the best competition in NBA history. He's the GOAT emoji. I will not cuss. I will not cuss. I will not swear. I will not swear.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
Your afternoons just got better with the Brian Snow Show. Weekdays, 4 p.m. Eastern. Come on aboard and enjoy the ride, folks.
Thursday nights are wrestling night on CSTV. Tune in every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific to see all the amazing next-level pro wrestling stars on Thursday Night Throwdown on CSTVNow.com and the CSTV app on your Roku device.
PK Tire Pros, your one-stop on-the-spot auto service headquarters for a complete line of quality tires and auto services. For years, we have provided the Stockton, California area with the latest products and unprecedented services for everything we sell. And for years, our customers have been coming back. Take a look around. If you don't find what you need, visit us in Stockton, California. From the latest and best in tire technology to the services required to keep your vehicle looking good and running great, PK Tire Pros can get you out on the road quickly and at an affordable price. Stop by soon to see why so many people consider PK Tire Pros to be the one-stop shop for all of their tire needs. At PK Tire Pros, our friendly and knowledgeable staff, quick and dependable service professionals, and affordable prices all come together to make driving out on a new set of tires easy. On top of that, we never tire of tires. Stop by and see us, and you'll be glad you did.
Because we take this job so serious.
The is that? Sorry, pardon me. My apologies.
What in the all types of blue hell?
This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson.
20. I'm pushing the wrong buttons here. 28 after the hour. And I am going completely off the board here. And I know I'm going to get a comedic uppercut. But let me thank this guy.
The following is a public service announcement from David 3000.
Yankees suck.
This has been a public service announcement from David 3000.
Or coming on the program this morning along with Jason DeCanio. I will join their meeting this evening, but I gave him a caveat. Once my wife comes in the door, I'm shutting everything down, and I'm going to bed early tonight. Okay. I'm going to get yelled at for this, but y'all see the hat I'm wearing, my beloved White Sox, but I don't like the direction they're in. Allow me to explain. This take is presented by Fanatics, officially licensed everything. All I have to ask is when Tim Anderson is going to be traded today and at what time. Because Lucas Giolito is gone. I have the feeling Yasmani Grandal, who was key for us in 2021, is going to be gone. I have the feeling Tim Anderson is going to be gone. And all this started when we got our ass kicked 2 years ago in the division round by the Houston Astros. No, change that. All this started when we lost to the Oakland Athletics in a wild card round in 2020 after we went to Oakland and beat their asses in game one. Since 2021, and I hate saying this about my hometown team, but speak ye the truth and shame the devil. The White Sox have not done a doggone thing to improve their roster. Nothing. Nothing. It's going to be a complete rebuild like the Baltimore Orioles have done, like the Toronto Blue Jays have done, and like the Houston Astros have done. That's what it's going to take for my White Sox to be competitive again. You got to get some young arms, and I think they made the right move in keeping Dylan Cease. You could have kept Lucas Giolito to head up that young staff. But that's the first pitch. That's the first position you got to build on. You got to get some pitching. And right now in the White Sox camp, there ain't none. I have not seen a complete game from a White Sox pitcher all year. All year. And it messes me up to say this about my hometown team. It messes me up to say this about my hometown team. But dagnabbit, the truth is the truth. And right now, the White Sox suck ass. I hate saying it, but they suck ass. It just blows to see my White Sox play without any fight, without any nerve, without any aggression on the base paths. Their pitching is awful. If you can't win this Central Division with the roster that you had, and you're in the process of selling off parts, it's time to push the plunger and blow it up and just start from scratch. All right? If Tim Anderson is going to be the face of the franchise for another couple of years while you work on an extension for him, by all means, go with it. By all means, go with it, man. But now you got to put some parts around them where they actually will produce. I love Luis Robert. I love Eloy Jimenez, but they can't stay healthy. It pisses me off. They can't stay healthy. I hate saying that, but the truth is the truth. I mean, if they played a full 162-game season, doggone it, do you know the numbers they would put up and how big they would be for this lineup? You already sold off Jose Abreu. You let him walk in free agency to the world champion Astros, and he's going to turn it around. So Tim Anderson has to be the face of the franchise. Here, now, and going forward, unless he gets traded today. And believe me, I'm watching the clock. I'm watching the clock to see if and when they do trade Tim Anderson. And frankly, I hate saying this about Tim Anderson, but I think you need a new face of the franchise. The question is, who is it going to be? Who's going to be the new face of the franchise for my beloved Chicago White Sox? Is it going to be Tim Anderson? Is it going to be Dylan Cease? Is it going to be Luis Robert? Eloy Jimenez? I mean, doggone it. They have fallen in the toilet since 2021 in winning that division. And you have one of the premier closers in Liam Hendricks. But you can't get to him because your pitching staff has given up runs before innings 7, 8, and 9. I said this about the Dodgers a few years ago. How the hell are you going to get to inning 9 with Liam Hendricks if you can't go 1 through 6 or 7? They don't have the arms. Come on, Rick Hahn. Do us a favor. Do us White Sox fans a huge favor and get some doggone arms. Will you please? Some arms that will help in the bullpen. I mean, stack up the farm system. Push the plunger and make it a full rebuild right now. Okay? My good friend John Zaglow, who I plan to have on this program soon, said you bought yourself with this division title, with the division title you won in 2021, and God, I was happy when that happened. You bought yourself a 7-year window with the team that you have. Use it! The first 2 years of this 7-year window are gone. Okay? Michael Kopech, get it together. I know you've been oft injured. I know that. A lot of players on this White Sox team, I mean, last year we had nothing but injuries, and that slowed our role in winning the division title. I get that. I understand that. I hated seeing it happen. I did. I hated seeing it. I'm probably going to take a nap after this rant, but get it together, Rick Hahn. Get some pitchers. Get some young bucks that actually want to play this game and actually make the fans feel like you give a damn. Will you please? You got examples in front of you in the Houston Astros, in the Baltimore Orioles. Do what they did. It took them a long time to build their farm system. It took them an absolute long time to build their team. But now you got mainstays. Let's start in Houston. You got mainstays in Jeremy Pena, Jose Altuve and Yordan Alvarez. Now you got another mainstay in Jose Abreu, who took the place of another mainstay in Yuli Gurriel. And y'all can't do that on the South Side? Really? Just get it the blank together, will you please? Good Lord. How much more are you going to make us White Sox fans suffer? You're making us suffer like Cub fans. And that ain't fair. I hate you.
I'm ready.
Let me close this out properly. That Snowman's take. What's yours? I said this to Cole off the air 100 times. I've said this on air to Cole 1,000 times since he's been my partner. I love you, but I fucking hate you for that button.
Well, I heard Cubs. I thought you were leading into a Cubs experience. That's why I played it.
I love you, but I fucking hate you for that button.
Yeah, I can understand why you want to go off on the White Sox.
We were supposed to be competing with the Astros this year after last year's injury-prone season. But Rick Hahn is not doing it right. He's not stacking up the farm system with arms.
This is how This is how it felt after the Astros actually, how apropos, when they went to the World Series until 2005 and got swept by the White Sox. We all felt, Astros fans felt, okay, all right, so we knocked on the door in 2004, got eliminated in NLCS by the Cardinals. We actually avenged that loss in the next year, but we lost in the World Series. Now we were thinking, okay, well, 2006, that's our time. We should get to the World Series and win it. We didn't even sniff the World Series.
No,
and it was similar of a precipitous drop, like the White Sox between 2021 and 2022, and then we all looked and we're like, oh, no wonder why you dropped like a rock. We have nobody in the farm system. Nobody.
Listen, we're stacking up draft picks. That part Rick Hahn is getting right, okay? Love the draft picks that he's brought in. Do me a favor, Rick Hahn. Use them!
Yeah.
Good God, you brought him in for a reason.
You know, I'm thinking these teams are probably scared of no,
they want to be the Yankees and have all the money, but they ain't got a doggone thing to offer.
No, you're a baseball purist. That
I am.
You're going exactly where I was about to land. They think it's easier to be the Yankees, have the purse strings, and just throw money at players as if the players are strippers at a strip club, just shaking their thing for people, and they have to realize, no, the approach you probably have to take is more like the A's back in the early 2000s, the Moneyball era. The problem, of course, with the A's was that once those prospects got to the majors and they did their thing, the ownership group was extremely cheap to want to actually keep them on, and so they would basically sell the parts off.
And remember, in 2002, remember in 2002, they did something only the White Sox have done since. They turned multiple triple plays in a season.
So I think there's teams that are scared to do that, to actually build through the farm system, to not be like how the A's were 2 decades ago. But
which
really, you have to do a combination of both. You got to build your farm system. You got to have some homegrown talent. I don't care how good, I don't care how talented you may think your team is. I don't care how much money you may have. You got to have the talent in the farm system to bring up to the majors. And you might have a little bit of money to get that key free agent. and to actually keep the homegrown talent that actually is producing as the elite star that you were hoping the guy is going to be.
And we got one of the more elite closers in Liam Hendricks, who signed an extension after 2021 when he was on the mound and closed out the Indians to win the damn division.
And
to win the damn division.
And now it looks like that extension, from his eyes, looks like it's a waste.
Yeah.
Because because from his standpoint, it looks like the team isn't building around him correctly, which
they're not.
If he's thinking like that, he's absolutely correct.
They're not building around him correctly. I mean, you can't get to inning 9 if you can't get through innings 1 through 8.
You have to give your closer a lead. Yes.
You can't get to Bob. They couldn't get to Bobby Jenks in 2005 in inning 9 if they couldn't get John Garland, Jose Contreras, Mark Burley, or Freddie Garcia to get them to inning 7 or 8. They don't have the fearsome foursome, and I believe every pitching staff in the majors, if you want to compete, you got to have at least 4. You got to have a fearsome foursome.
It's in some combination. If you have them for starting pitching, you're really doing great.
Yeah, and you got to have the bullpen has got to be deep. The bullpen has got to be deep because you're going to run into a couple of games throughout the season that are absolute clunkers and turn into bullpen games. You're going to run into that.
Yeah,
you're going to run into that.
Yeah, basically 4, 5, 6 innings. It's nothing but long relief that's actually carrying the rest of the game. Yeah,
and that's all. And that's all it is. And one of my favorite pitchers is an Astro, Framber Valdez, who is getting better.
Yeah.
You can't build this. Look, he's a world champion and he's getting better. Explain that to me.
Yeah, that's scary to think.
His off-speed pitches have more bite now than they did last year in the playoffs.
November. Yes, I'm thinking, doggone, man. Yeah,
Steve Carlton couldn't put enough bite on his 12-6 curveball, which was a sumbitch to try to swing at.
One of the best curveballs I've ever laid eyes on in my life.
Nolan Ryan couldn't put enough arc on his 12-6 curveball, and Nolan Ryan was an Astro for 7 years.
Yep. The curveball
and he worked on that curveball.
Ooh, he
worked on that curveball from the Mets, from the Angels to the Mets to the Astros, and perfected it in Texas. You tell me how the hell that 12-6 curveball didn't have enough bite on it. Doggone it. I mean, listen, man. I want my White Sox to get it right, and I truly believe that they will. But you got prospects right now. This season's a wash.
Yeah.
This season's
unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but
unfortunate as it is. But in John Zaglow's words, who will be back on the show to talk Chicago sports, after the division title in 2021 and the bonuses they were in, they bought themselves a 7-year window. 22 was a wash due to injuries. This year is a wash because they couldn't get it together and they couldn't hold any leads. All right? You can use the rest of this year, August going forward, to find out who's going to be the new face of the franchise. They have 3 right now with Tim Anderson, Luis Robert, and Eloy Jimenez.
I was going to say, of all of them, it seems like to me Anderson is the closest to probably being that guy that people would gravitate to in that light.
Him. Listen, Rick Hahn, even though his name has popped up on trade rumors in the last 5 days, keep Tim Anderson, please. Keep Tim Anderson.
But if they deal him, you're going to be massively disappointed.
You're damn right. I'm going to be massively angry. I'm going to be massively angry. What? Black man talking competent baseball?
What in the all types of blue hell?
I decided to change it up.
I know.
I decided to change it up, and it was necessary.
I know.
You know what black men also did earlier this spring in terms of hockey? We talked competently about a
Game 7.
3 separate times.
Yes.
in hockey, 3 separate times.
Yes.
And
Shout
we're going
out
to
to
talk
you,
even
Ron
more.
McCarthy. One of them
Yes.
being the Devils who actually performed said shutout in said
Game 7.
You know what's bad? When we do this and we laugh at it, and we spoke about this off the air. When we do that and do it competently, a certain group looks at us with a side eye. You realize that. And I laugh every single time.
And I was like, yeah, that game that Patrick Kane did, and that same contingency would go.
Bitch, are you for real?
Listen, let me do this. Because in 2013, while my beloved Blackhawks were making their run to the Stanley Cup, let's see. Oh, where's Patrick? Where's Patrick? I can't find him. Dagnabbit. Well, let me do this one first. Let me do this one first. When Brent Seabrook did this, and I talked about it the next day.
Detroit is doing and make a change after. Crawford peers out at a face-off. That will involve guys who've taken a lot of them tonight, Boland and Zetterberg.
Let us see NBC and WGN Radio.
Flipped one that went off the stick of Frolik. Played back onto Seabrook. Shifting
The incomparable Doc Emmerich on the call.
Down by Erickson. Builder to hit now. And Nyquist. Oh my, he's run into by Boland. Right back ahead comes Seabrook with a shot. He's got.
I don't know how much. I don't remember how much pizza I ate that night. I don't know how much beer I drank that night, but I do know that when I talked about it the next day on location, boy, you want to talk about some side eyes?
Let's see. So you couldn't celebrate your hometown teams. I know you were living in Chicago at the time.
I was indeed.
You couldn't celebrate your hometown team actually winning
Game 7.
Against our hated rival at the time, the Detroit Red Wings.
Right. Of any round.
Right.
Against your most hated rival to boot. And I know it was the Western semis. And you mean to tell me because it wasn't, well, of course, since hockey runs concurrent with basketball. So you mean to tell me because you weren't talking about, let me see, 2013. So that means you would have to be talking about LeBron James ad nauseum. You probably wouldn't be talking about the Bulls because the Bulls
were already gone.
Bulls fan was probably in mourning of Derrick Rose going down the year before.
Yep.
So, yeah, you weren't talking about basketball. You weren't talking about anything that LeBron did. You weren't talking about how boring the Spurs were.
God, I love that. Does my partner know me or what?
You weren't talking about how delusional Mark Jackson was in claiming these two guys, these two yellowbone guys were actually.
Yeah.
Let me see. How did he say it? Because it was that year he said it.
They were the best.
The best shooting backcourt in NBA history.
Right.
Close quote. So you didn't talk about them. You didn't talk about Mark Jackson having a thing for yellowbone players.
Oh yeah. You remember
because you wanted to talk about some white players.
Oh God.
What did I say to you 2 weeks ago when I was the passer?
let's see. I couldn't talk about it because they were white, because it's a white sport.
Mm-hmm. And the players are whiter than ice.
And the players are whiter than ice.
And I think it's a doggone shame. I'm like, it's still sports. It's still something that's happening in your city. You should be happy about this.
Oh, I was over the moon happy.
Well, I know you were, because you're a hockey fan.
I was over the moon happy.
And I understand how that felt, because I got swept up in how the Predators played 4 years later.
Right. When they went to the Stanley Cup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I understand how it is. Because to me, it's like, wow, it is great to see the city just get all swollen up with pride, and you could just look.
Here's the point. Here's the biggest point. The entire city of Chicago was swept up in Blackhawks mania. After we beat the Red Wings, we were down 3-1 in that series, and came all the way back and beat their asses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so for me, I'm like, man, I love the moment. So
yes,
So definitely, if you're going to be all swept up in the team that you root for, beating your arch rival, coming back from a 3-1 deficit, and you clinch the series in the Game 7 at home, in overtime at home.
In overtime.
You have to mention it, even if it's in passing. You have to mention it. And you can't just dismiss it either. Right.
Well, you know who wanted me to dismiss it, and then oh boy, I'm really gonna have fun with this. You know what they really wanted me to dismiss? They wanted me about a week later to dismiss this.
Near side of the Chicago zone. Bickle, they force a turnover. Here's Taves and Kane. 2-on-1, hustling back is going up for shots. Go! Patrick Kane in overtime!
Strip the puck from the LA Kings, and then they go the other way. Kopitar played it around the boards. A pinch by Voinov, but a strong play by Bickle. This pass is absolutely perfect by Jonathan Taves. It couldn't be any better on the tape to allow Kane to fire home his
Dave Strader on the call for NBC, providing the video of the late, great Dave Strader. Dave, we miss you. So I'll talk to you about this off the air, because there are some things I want to say, and I can't say them here because of all the stations that we are on, but that's a shout to my hometown, to WIOUDB, based in Chicago, and I celebrated the next day. I celebrated the hell out of it, because we were in the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, but I can understand why you celebrate that. Yeah,
I celebrated the hell out of it, and got more hatred than if I ever celebrated the Bulls or the Bears. I got more hatred for celebrating my Chicago Blackhawks. I got more hatred after 2005 celebrating my Chicago White Sox. All right, because we talked the hell out of this, and I just had a weekly show at the time. Man, do I need to say any more?
No.
Do I need to say any more?
No. Unfortunately, sir, I will code it this way: your coverage of sports to basically excuse no vernacular. It's not black enough. Doggone it! You aren't woke enough.
Oh dear Lord!
The
only time I like being woke is when my wife kisses me for work and I'm able to start my day.
Yeah,
that's the only time. That's the only time I'm woke. All right,
woke enough.
Listen,
you're not celebrating the crown.
Black men on this program have freely talked hockey and baseball, and I don't care.
Constantly throw middle fingers at baseball and hockey.
Nope.
because
they're sports, aren't they?
Because conspiratorially, they are both throwing middle fingers at the black community. You're not saying those things, so it means your coverage of sports is a bit on the white side.
And I was a hockey play-by-play announcer for 4 years. Youth hockey, high school hockey, did it all.
Those big dummies.
Did it all. And then on top, I'll leave y'all with this story. 2011, when I was in Chicago, I got a call from a friend of mine, and he asked me, "You want to learn how to call hockey games?" I said, "Sure." Then he coupled it with, "Oh, we'll make sure we pay you for it, but we just need an announcer to cover a tournament we're doing." Hell yeah, I'm doing it. Now, I had never called a hockey game before in my life. I got there, and they said, "Who's your favorite hockey announcer?" I said, two of them are Pat Foley and John Weideman, voices of the Blackhawks. And the only lesson I got that day was use their knowledge, use your knowledge, and go get them. Man, 4 years of hockey later, I'm itching to get back in the booth to do that. Yeah, I got the middle finger from a lot of people, and I'll give you all guesses to which people. I got the middle finger from a lot of people, but after that week, you know it. But after that week, I just told them I walked out with a hell of a lot of money because I walked out with $1,000.
That's right. You should have walked around them same people and been like,
I did. They didn't like me after that. We got to go. Have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you,
and they are not big enough. And if you all are narrow-minded, basically you all take big, gigantic